It was a wretched night, fierce with wind and rain. He had this on the authority of his manservant L, who was on that evening in question overheard complaining about the weather conditions while he stood watch in the vicinity of Donna A's window. It was late at night, and Donna A was alone in her room. All at once, a man wrapped in a cloak entered her quarters, with the cloak draped around him in such a fashion as to conceal his identity. This is unclear, but really, how thoroughly is a plain cloak able to conceal anything? Let us consider an example. If God and Satan were each wrapped in cloaks, would we be able to tell them apart? Does there exist a cloak vast enough to obfuscate the eternal light that would emanate from the one visage? You grasp my point, I trust. In the first instance, Donna A mistook him, L's master, the man in the cloak, the man in question, for her fiancé, Don O. We have this as a result of her delayed account of the events, a rendering made tardy presumably by the extent of her distress. But in truth, how similar are they? How reasonable are the grounds for this confusion? On the one hand, we have Don O, a cautious, reticent, restrained aristocrat of sensitive mien and bearing, engaged in the most oppressive, restrictive manner to Donna A for the purpose of securing matrimony. An individual content to remain exclusively bound to one woman in the most banal and dreary contractual arrangement, a veritable cream puff, who exclaimed in public seconds after the murder of Donna A's father, "You have husband and father in me." On the other hand, we have the gentleman in question, a brave, stalwart, flamboyant cavalier of courageous stance and demeanor, irresistible to some 2,065 women, a restless, fearless quester for erotic sensation and sensual fulfillment. A man who likewise proclaimed in public, "Here's to women and good wine, the sustenance and glory of humanity." The one subjugates himself to the sole object of his desire. One of his most revealing pronouncements supports this analysis. "On her peace, my peace depends. What pleases her gives me life. What displeases her brings me death." The other orders the world in the service of his desires. The one is content to be listed. The other is the keeper of the list. Donna A mistook the one for the other. What does that solemn fact reveal about her? What is that fact? That is, that she was confused between the two men, itself so incontrovertible. Donna A's sworn statement attests that the intruder attempted to force himself upon her. He held her tightly, she cried out, resisted, saying the rogue had tried to steal my honor. But surely it is evident that had Donna A begun crying out at the first instant that she sensed another presence in her room, the intruder would never have been able to arrive at such an intimate posture, so as to be able to clasp her to his breast and attempt an indecent kiss. Why is it that she did not begin screaming immediately? Her answer, she mistook the intruder for her fiancé. But what respectable female would not begin shrieking immediately at the unannounced and unexpected presence of her intended in her room in the middle of the night? Let us allow for a moment that she did misperceive the intruder as Don O. Was he any less an intruder? Was his presence in her room in the black of night be a typical event, a welcome occurrence, one that would not provoke shock and outrage? All right, now this goes on for a long time until finally he says, logically, rationally trying to argue the impossibility of Donna A's scenario. He says you can't shriek and smile at the same time. So he says, this section, he says finally, a smile in recognition of the glimpse obtained despite the cloak of a comely and gallant visage, presenting himself unto her with valor and love. Again, why did she not cry out? It is evil indeed to continue to deny the obvious, exhausting conclusion. She did not cry out because she did not wish to. She wanted to be silent. Silence is many things: intimacy, empathy, understanding, complicity. But above all, it is one thing: consent. I sense by your silence that you have taken my point. Now,